And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Shortstop episode. So as you can probably guess, we are discussing the 3 greatest shortstops in Major League Baseball history today. Hopefully we will have a more intense back and forth than we did last week with our third base episode, but let's see how it goes. I can see at least a handful of shortstops making the list today, not 4 or 3. So let's get it started. Drew, who's your third shortstop?
Well, my number 3 is Ozzie Smith.
He's also my number 3.
He did not. Oh, sorry.
He's also my number 3.
He did not make my list.
I'm still debating. But I'm still debating.
You have to convince Wade.
Here's what I'll say. I'll be up for an Ozzie Smith conversation after we announce all of our names. But for right now, I'll say he's not on the list. But
Okay. So 3 for Ozzie.
But I might go to your side at the end. We'll see.
All right. Well, old Ozzie's in the Hall of Fame. He has a World Series, 15-time All-Star, 13-time Gold Glove winner. He has 1 Silver Slugger, 2,400 hits, 28 home runs, and he batted .262 for his career.
The home runs are kind of funny.
Yeah, I know. 28.
They weren't great.
No. But he wasn't asked to hit home runs. So.
I'm sure they wouldn't have complained if he did.
Right.
Well, no, you're not going to complain.
He
But
hit the occasional one.
Well, David, would I be going out on a limb in this room by saying that he's probably the greatest defensive shortstop of all time?
I would agree.
I would say that's a pretty
Yeah.
easy statement to
Yeah.
make.
He's
I
the
think.
number 1 defensive WAR of all time.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
By
And
quite a little bit, I believe.
I think
Not a
when-
big war guy, but
No, I'm not either, but I did notice. Did
the
note
analytic
that.
guys will like
Sometimes
it.
you got to throw out that to prove your point.
That's
Yeah.
right. Well, I mean, I was looking through some of this stuff because all the lists I was looking at, he was 4, 5, 6 in those ranges. But then some of the guys ahead of him I don't have on my list, and that's how he moved up. But then I was looking at, obviously he's by most people he's considered the greatest defensive shortstop, but he does not have the best fielding percentage. And of course they said it's because of his range, because he played his whole career at short.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't move to third, or some of these guys moved to outfield, did other things, and but he played his whole career there.
And 19 years, not like 10 or 12.
And on the old super fast turf at Old Bush.
And he got 13 Gold Gloves in the 19
Let
years.
me tell you what, that turf was fast and hard.
And hot.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I know you and I have been out on it back in the old days because
Mhm.
I took you to games.
Yeah, I've run the bases there twice.
Yeah. And but
I know a couple people that have played on it. They used to play like state tournament games at Bush, and Shaq ran into the Christmas tree. Sorry, we're watching the TNT. We're watching a basketball game right now, and Shaq went to race Kenny the Jet, and he ran into a Christmas tree. Sorry, caught my attention.
Well, I mean, I think Ozzie Smith, when you think of the greatest defenders in just the history of baseball, I think he's one of the first 3 or 4 names that you think of. Just altogether, he might just be the greatest defender ever. I mean, he's in the conversation, I think. It's hard to compare positions.
Well, 13 Gold Gloves has got to put him really high on the Gold Glove list. I don't think it's tops, but
it's number 1 at shortstop, but it's
Right,
not
yeah.
tops overall.
yeah, I think somebody
Brooks
has
Brooks-
18. I think,
Brooks
don't they?
Robinson's way up. He has more than 30.
Brooks
look.
had
Because that was our big thing last week.
Brooks had 16 Gold Gloves.
16.
Yeah. I want to say there might be
I think the actual leader is Maddox, the pitcher.
that might
It
be.
is Greg Maddux.
Yeah, I think he's got the most.
Yeah. And Uncle Doug could definitely talk about this, but it wasn't just how good he was on defense. He had some flair with it. He made it look fun and entertaining. Like, he was one of the more entertaining. I mean, I wasn't even alive then, but we grew up around Cardinal fans with Uncle Doug and Mom and everybody, and they've talked to us about it our whole lives. And then you can watch videos of it, and he's doing backflips and diving and catching all these crazy crazy balls and stuff. He was
Little backflips.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
he was nuts. Like he was a crazy.
Well, and one of the things when he got to the end of his career, you can imagine after 19 years, the arm's not what it was when he was younger. He learned how to skip the ball off Bush's turf accurately. I mean, if he had to go deep shortstop in the hole, and he could bounce it off the turf right to the first base.
I got the leaders at each position pulled up. Greg Maddux has 18.
That's crazy.
Pudge Rodriguez has 13 at catcher.
Okay.
First base is Keith Hernandez with 11.
11.
Second base is Roberto Alomar with 10.
I can see that.
Third base is Brooks Robinson with 16. Arenado has 10.
10. Yeah, he's got 10 now.
Ozzie at 13 at short. Left field is Barry Bonds with 8. Center field is Willie Mays with 12. And right field is Roberto Clemente with 12. How many does Griffey have, Wade? Because he has a lot.
He won 10 straight, and then he started getting injured.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think Ozzie's 13 were consecutive.
Yeah.
Left
I'm
field.
sure it was.
That really surprises me. That left field is only 8.
It's the lowest number.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of outfield guys end up switching positions later on, and
That's true.
or moving to DH or go to the different position.
Well, if you're a great fielding outfielder, you play center.
yeah.
Right.
And
That's true.
so like, and when you're in like little league and pony league and stuff, 99% of the guys you play against are right-handed. So your worst fielder goes in right field.
Right.
That's not true in the majors. Most of the time, your worst fielder goes in left field because guys try and bat left-handed. Like so many guys are left-handed in the league, and so I'm trying to look and see if all of his were consecutive real quick. Yes, all of his Gold Gloves were consecutive.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm pretty sure Griffey won his 10 in a row. I think, but I could be wrong. And another kind of side note on Ozzie. He did struggle, from what I understood anyway. He struggled quite a bit there with the bat. Was like real early in his career, but then he kind of really turned it around there for a while and became a pretty solid hitter. And he was an elite base stealer. He stole a lot of bases,
Like 500 and some.
Yeah, I mean that's a very good number. It's not Ricky Henderson, but
No.
500 is a very good number.
He was able to get one silver slugger.
Ricky Henderson's by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in some of those outfield episodes.
He was a
crazy.
menace on the base path.
Yeah.
Base stealing is not at all what it used to be in the MLB because they just won't let guys do it.
Yeah.
No.
Analytics.
Because it's considered a negative in analytics
Right.
because it's not worth the chance.
Well, for some guys it's not, but for some of those guys, like Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, Vince Coleman,
Tim Raines.
Tim
If
Raines,
they can
some
get
of
on
those
base.
guys,
They can get
Well,
down the line.
that's pretty good.
That's what I don't remember who I was talking. Maybe it was you guys. I don't remember who I was talking to. But analytics is like, well, stolen bases are only successful, 65% of the time, whatever. I don't remember the number, but so it's not worth the opportunity because you get thrown out so much. I'm like, but what about like you said, the elite guys? They weren't getting thrown out 40% of the time.
What about the 100 times that Ricky Henderson did it a year?
Right, like when
he
Ricky,
turned a single to a double.
Like every time he was on.
Yeah.
He gets thrown out periodically, but for the most part, I don't know what Ricky's percentage is, but I would bet it's over 75%.
Yeah.
It
also depends on the catcher.
That's true too.
If Yachty's behind the plate or Pudge is behind the plate, maybe you don't want to steal.
Right.
But some of these guys, I'm taking the base.
They're right, exactly.
Well, I think me and Alberto were talking about this the other day. And Ricky Henderson was amazing. Everyone knew exactly what he was going to do when he got on base, and he turned a single or a walk into a triple almost every single time, and you couldn't stop it. He was getting there. And it's just, yeah.
All right, well, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up Ricky so I can pull up his stolen base percentage real quick.
I think it's pretty rare going into a bit of a rabbit hole in our first person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Normally
that's
we don't
true.
go in big rabbit holes with.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's probably bad podcasting, but I'm
Sorry.
trying to figure out where they put percentage of this real quick. Stolen base percentage. I found it now. 81%.
Yeah.
For who? Who we talking about?
Ricky Henderson.
Yep. Ricky, you got the green light, buddy. Let's
That's
rock and roll.
Oh, he was going every single time he got on base. He was going.
It doesn't have to be 81%. If some guys like at 70, I'll give him the green light to get going.
Well,
Yeah.
think just they're in like that same period. You had Ricky Henderson, who's the man when it comes to stolen bases, but Tim Raines played that exact same era, and wasn't Coleman around the same era?
Yeah, Raines and Coleman were a little later than him. It was kind of like Brock, Henderson, overlap Brock, and then to Raines and Coleman, and
Yeah,
that whole time period was just, there were some great base stealers.
yeah. It's
You know,
nuts.
here's what makes those guys elite, though. I don't think those guys, Ricky or Coleman or Raines or any of those guys, were faster or better base stealers than a lot of other guys we've seen. But they were good enough hitters to get on base.
Right. Yeah.
We've seen guys that
Yeah.
are just holy cow blazing fast. What was that guy for the Reds a couple years ago?
Billy Hamilton.
Billy Hamilton.
Yeah.
But he would bat like 200,
right.
and he never got on base.
Yeah, you had to get on to steal.
Yeah, like
He probably could have put up Ricky Henderson numbers because he would get like 45, 50 stolen bases on 110 hits in a season.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh damn.
yeah, he was grease lightning, man. He was really fast. But
Yeah.
you've got to be a good enough hitter to get on base.
Yeah.
So anyway, we probably ought to add a shortstop
Yeah,
here.
12 minutes in, we've got.
Yeah.
Right.
So who has the third shortstop left? Willard?
Is it just me?
I do too, but
Oh, okay. Well, I already made it obvious that I'm debating on my third one with Ozzie Smith and this person, but the other one is I put Cal Ripken Jr. in there.
he's my number 3 as well.
I put Cal at 2.
I mean, talking about just an all around.
3.
Oh, what? Oh,
Oh, I was talking to Ray. Sorry.
just a really all around great player. He's known more for his durability and his giant streak, which is what kind of made him the icon that he is. But he really was a great all around shortstop. We're talking about a shortstop with over, I think it was like 431 home runs. For a shortstop, that's an astronomical amount.
I think isn't it his third all time for a shortstop? I think.
I think it kind of depends because he switched to third later in his career, so I don't know. Like sometimes they literally only track like what you did at that position.
Oh yeah, I
So-
was just thinking of shortstops in general because I was thinking he's behind A-Rod and
yeah.
Banks because they both have
Mhm.
over 500.
Yeah, and then I mean we got 431 home runs, just under 1,700 RBIs. He did get almost 30. He's in the 3,000 hit club. A lot of that's just due to how long he played. His batting average is decent, but it's not special or anything. He did actually get a couple Gold Gloves, a couple MVPs. 19 All-Star games is insane. I'm not sure he deserved all 19, but it's a crazy number.
You know, those ones at the end are because it's Cal Ripken.
Oh, yeah. Got a World Series, Rookie of the Year. But I think the main thing that sticks out with Cal Ripken for me is he kind of set a trend that we still kind of see today now. But back in the day, you never really saw real great big shortstops. And he's like 6'4" and a big, bulky guy.
He is.
And he was actually able, at least early in his career, later it went downhill, but he was a good, solid defender early and in his prime and stuff, which you didn't see great big guys play shortstop. You never did that.
Well, and
that-
because shortstop and second baseman were there to field and do nothing else. They didn't care if you
Right.
hit or not.
Yeah.
And then Ripken and a couple other guys really changed that.
Ripken opened the door for like A-Rod and
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis and Nomar and some bigger guys that ended up moving to that position, and that was started with Cal Ripken.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And his Iron Man streak is pretty nuts. Just
I'll be honest with you. It's one of the most impressive sports feats I think because it's not just that you played that many games, but because baseball's schedule is so damn grueling. 162 games in what, 5 months? Like they play like 25 between 25 and 28 games a month.
Yeah.
Like you get no time off.
You gotta play a game almost every day.
Yeah.
You get like a day here and a day there traveling, but you don't get a day to sit at home. You're on an airplane flying home or flying back.
Well, a lot of the times they, play a game, get on a plane, fly to a new city, and play a game, and play anyway. Like it's not like the NBA where we have to have a travel day. And I understand that NBA players and NFL players are doing some more physical things than these baseball players do, but the other thing is too is essentially these guys are playing with a ball that's a rock, and all it has to do is hit you once, and your season's over.
Yeah.
Whether you're at the plate, whether you're in the field, even
he played one of the most active positions on the field. So it's not like he was a first baseman who just stood in one spot and didn't have to do a damn thing but stick his arm up.
Right, or DH.
Like he was
sitting in the dugout for half the game.
Shortstop and center field are probably the most active, important positions defensively. And he played one of those. And even when he got older and had to move, I mean, he just moved to the hot corner, which is a little less activity, but it's still an important position on the field.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot better than first.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, I thought he was a pretty good, safe shortstop pick.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to put Cal Ripken on my list. I don't like Cal Ripken. But the more I was looking at numbers, this was just a numbers-based thing. Like
compared to other shortstops, he put up some crazy numbers.
I mean, he's in the 3,000 hit club, which makes him elite already. He has over 400 home runs while in the 3,000 hit club, which puts him in real elite company. And like you said, he has 400 home runs for a guy that played shortstop majority of his career. So, like, yeah, it's crazy. And he did play shortstop for 2,300 games.
Yeah.
That's more than a lot of guys play in their career total. So he was a shortstop for 2,300. He played third base for another 600 games. So it's pretty lopsided there. He DH'd 25 times in his career. So yes. So that's everybody's number 3, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Drew, you said Cal was your number 2?
Yep.
So you're out of your 2 as well?
Yep, I'm out of 2.
All right. So Uncle Doug, who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Barry Larkin.
Oh, I like Barry.
I like Barry Larkin.
Barry Larkin's my number 1.
I can't say I'm surprised coming from a Reds fan.
That's right. Bias picks.
I was trying to be open-minded when I was going through my list, and the more I looked at Barry, I was like, I'll explain a little bit about how I mean, Barry's got 12 All-Stars, 9 Silver Sluggers, 3 Gold Gloves, an MVP, a World Series, batted .295, 2,300 hits, 198 homers, and 960 RBIs. I thought a lot about shortstop, and like what you said earlier about originally they were pretty much just fielding.
Yeah.
And then the hitting came in later, and I thought, well, but it's still impressive, the hitting. So I got to looking at Silver Sluggers and Gold Gloves. Now, one of my guys this doesn't apply to because they didn't have them.
Yeah.
I bet I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a hint of where I'm going.
He's real.
But then I got to looking at Silver Sluggers and Gold Gloves. Well, Ozzy's is a little skewed because 13 Gold Gloves and 1 Silver Slugger, you put him at 14. A-Rod, 12, 10 Silver Sluggers and 2 Gold Gloves. Jeter's got 10, 5 and 5. Cal had 10, 8 and 2. I also looked a little bit like Alan Trammell. He had some pretty decent numbers. He was 3 and 4. But Larkin had 9 Silver Sluggers and 3 Gold Gloves, so he came up to 12. I'm like, well, that's actually it's in there, so that's why I put him on my list.
So he had the second most of all those guys?
If you put them together, yes.
Right, yeah.
He would be tied with A-Rod, and I did not put A-Rod on because of Well, everybody knows why.
You know why we didn't put A-Rod on?
Yeah.
Did anybody put A-Rod on?
No.
No.
No, I don't. None of.
I mean, crazy numbers.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
he's not doing it.
But again, his career split almost down the middle
Yes.
at short and third.
Yeah.
I mean, we can probably just tell the audience that, as far as I know, none of us, I think, are going to include any of the huge steroid users.
Right.
Correct.
Just,
Yes,
Yeah.
you won't see steroid users on our list.
Yeah, or at least
Which-
the really obvious ones that we know used.
and this might be a time to mention this, is with A-Rod, if you watched him play at the beginning of his career, before the steroids,
He couldn't field.
well, but he was an amazing player. I mean, he was, again, like Wade said, was the bigger guy, and he could hit, and
He stole bases at the beginning of his career.
yeah.
Better
I mean,
shortstop than Jeter.
Him and Barry Bonds both would have been first ballot Hall of Famers without the juice.
Right.
But they got greedy.
Yep.
Yeah,
They wanted
exactly.
They wanted more, and they got jealous of other people, and then they ruined everything, and now they will never make the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think A-Rod got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and he used it to get back, and then he saw what a difference it made. And then it's like, well, maybe I'll do it just a little more to keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, because really at that time period when those guys came out, you had A-Rod and Jeter and Nomar.
Mm-hmm.
And Tejada.
And, yeah.
They all
and-
came out at the same time.
And it was an amazing crop of shortstops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't think Nomar gets the credit he deserves.
I agree.
I thought he was a really good shortstop.
I think it's
Besides being a fielder, he could also hit, and
oh yeah.
you know,
Nomar's like so many of Alex's all-time favorite players in any sport. His career was ended early for injuries,
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
which
So it's-
which does hold him back. But he put up some stupid numbers for
Oh,
a
yeah.
while.
He was
I mean,
good.
he batted like 374 one year.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
like
Biggest problem is with all those injuries. When those injuries started, and then he ended up retiring. You know, I wouldn't say early, but you know, he didn't sustain as long as the other guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he missed a bunch of games there after a while. His career numbers just didn't hold up. You know, he would have been a pretty easy Hall of Famer if he would have been, you know, healthy. But I think if I remember correctly, I think he ended up with like just under like 2,000 hits and stuff.
Yeah, 1,700 hits.
1,700. I mean, this is a guy
his
who-
career batting average is 313.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a really nice number, especially for a guy playing a premium defensive position.
Yeah.
But like you said, his longevity is just not there. And baseball is all about totals.
Numbers.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Of all the
Yeah.
sports, it's the one the most
Yeah.
that the totals matter.
It seems to be the only people that can get away with shorter careers are pitchers, and you had to be extremely,
Yeah.
extremely dominant
Yeah.
for those short
Sandy
periods.
Koufax.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, I didn't mean to distract us again, but I thought Nomar deserved a mention too.
I mean, Nomar burst onto the scene like crazy. Like his rookie season, he does win Rookie of the Year, batting .306 with 30 home runs and 98 RBIs. You know, he steals 22 bases. That's his rookie season.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, well, the sky's the limit for this guy. So he comes out his second year and instead of batting .306, he bats .323. Instead of hitting 30 home runs, he has 35 home runs. He has 122 RBIs. You're like, dude, this guy just keeps getting better. He just keeps getting better. So what's he do the next season? He bats .357, wins the batting title. You know, then the next year he's like, fuck it, I'm about .372, and wins the batting title again. Also, both those seasons he has over 20 home runs. His home run total go down slightly there, but still over 20 home runs, 27, 21.
he almost hit 400.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Then the next year, he's hurt. He misses
Yeah.
almost the entire season, and you're like, okay, but he'll come back. And what happens is, they break his wrist with a fastball. You know, and a lot of guys don't come back from that. You know, he does come back, and you're like, all right, he comes back. He bats .310 with 24 home runs and 120 RBIs, and you're like, Nomar's back, baby. Nomar's back. He comes back the next season, .301, 28 home runs, 105 RBIs, and you're like, Nomar's back, baby. No, this is great. We have a cornerstone for our franchise. Gets hurt again, and then he's never the same
Yeah.
ever again.
Well, I mean, everyone knows Jeter and A-Rod, and then we just talked about Nomar, but Miguel Tejada was one of the best players in the whole league there for a few years too.
He got an MVP.
Yeah,
but he was busted for steroids multiple times.
and he got in trouble for lying about his age.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
He was one of the big ones, like, because he signed this big contract with, was it Baltimore?
there was a because
something like
Oakland
that.
doesn't give big contracts, so it had to have been Baltimore.
And they gave him like I don't know. This is just an example. I don't remember the exact years or whatever. But say like they thought he was like 29 or 30 and gave him like a 5-6 year contract. Then it came out he was like 33, and now they're paying him through like his 38-year-old season. It was like a situation like that.
Mhm.
I don't remember all the exact numbers or details, but he ended up kind of screwing them over and kind of screwed. Yeah.
Well, Tejada has a 285 career batting average with 307 home runs.
They're in his prime. He put up some crazy numbers, like power-wise and stuff.
He has his MVP season. He bats 308 with 34 homers and 131 RBIs.
Yeah.
And then 2 seasons later, he has 34 home runs and 150 RBIs.
Yeah.
While batting 311.
He was nasty.
So, yeah. But this is all of this happens during the meat of the steroid era.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't know what to believe with any of these guys.
Right.
So, anyway, shall we? You have anything else to add, Barry Larkin?
Nope, that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, being a Red fan in the 90s, he was the team pretty much.
He was.
So, and stat-wise, I say bias, but really he kind of edges everybody out in something. He's really probably the most balanced shortstop that we've talked about today, really. So, I mean, I say bias, but, I mean, he really edges everybody out.
I'll say this, Ray. I don't disagree with what you just said. Barry is a guy that I don't think he was, like, elite at anything, but he has no weaknesses.
Right.
Yeah.
He was
You know.
good at everything,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not the greatest at something.
Right. He was a
Right.
very good fielder. He was a very good average hitter. He was a decent power hitter. You know, like
Had a little-
he could run.
Yeah.
You know, like he did it all. You know, I mean, this is the guy that had a 40 stolen base season. Like he did a little bit of everything. And like we said, he won an MVP.
Right.
You know, he batted .319 with 15 home runs, only 66 RBIs. But you take what you get. But he stole 51 bases that year.
And he seems to just be a really nice person. He's on TV and stuff sometimes. I can't remember what he's on.
MLB Network.
Yeah, he's on MLB Network. Yeah.
And he just seems to be really nice and down to earth and just a good overall person in general. But yeah.
Who was it? He has a title, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
90 World Series. Who was on that team with him?
It's, I bet it's Jose Rijo, Reggie Sanders.
I forgot about Reggie Sanders. I forgot
And,
he started
and
there.
probably, I don't know, Dion yet, probably not.
I got you here. I pulled their team up.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
Joe Oliver is their catcher. Todd Benzinger at first base.
Yeah.
Mariano Duncan at second.
That's, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
And then Barry Larkin. Chris Sabo played
Yeah,
third.
Chris Sabo,
I
yeah.
forgot about Chris
Yeah.
Sabo.
Yeah.
Billy Hatcher in left field.
Yeah.
Chili Davis is at center.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Paul O'Neill is in right field.
Yeah, I forgot
So,
about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Paul O'Neill. Yeah.
That was a pretty tough team.
Yeah.
And King Griffey Sr. Was a bench player on that team, so that would have been the end of his career probably
okay.
because that would have been way late in his career because didn't he play on the Big Red Machine?
Yes, he
And
did.
that was in the 70s.
right.
He must have stuck around a little bit longer because he played with Junior.
He wanted
at
to play
Seattle.
with Junior.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
They played a year or two together in Seattle.
Yeah,
so
because there's that one video of Junior stealing a catch from him.
they're like the only father-son duo in MLB history to hit back-to-back home runs
Yeah.
in a game.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So
Nice.
you were also right. Jose Rio was one of the pitchers. Tom Browning,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Jack Armstrong, Norm Carlton.
I kind of remember him, yeah.
Here's the one that stands out to me. It doesn't. Ron Dibble was on this team.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Another pitcher, right?
Yeah, pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ron Dibble had himself a career, if I remember correctly. Oh, Ron Dibble was the NLCS MVP that year. So, All right. Well, now that we've taken a deep dive on the Reds, who has a number 2 left?
I do.
Go ahead, Ray.
Ernie Banks.
Ernie Banks is my number 1.
I have Ernie Banks at number 1 as well.
I didn't put Ernie on, not because he's not great, but
Yeah, I didn't put Ernie on
he
either.
played more games at other places than at short. That's why I left him off.
So that
Because he is a phenomenal player.
Yeah. It just
So let me ask
no
you
doubt.
this: Did we screw up and not look at him at first? Because that's where he plays the other games.
Right, yeah. Maybe.
Because his numbers are stupid.
Yeah, they're really good.
I mean, he's a 512 home runs. I mean, he's in the 500 home run club, which to Drew maybe doesn't mean as much as it may mean to some of the rest of us because everybody does it now. But, well, especially when he did it. But when I was growing up, there was only like 20 guys in the 500 home run club.
Yeah.
And he was one of them.
I mean, it's still an elite thing to do.
Yeah.
It's still very elite.
I know it's elite, but it's not like 20 guys are still in it now. There's way more guys.
Yeah, I mean, because all these steroid guys got in it. I mean,
And not. I mean, we're talking about a shortstop guy that hit over 500 home runs and didn't juice up, which is pretty amazing.
and like a lot of guys in his era, or unlike a lot of guys in his era, he didn't hit for power and hit 230. His career batting average is 274.
It's respectable.
I mean, yeah, respectable number, not elite or anything, but a nice number.
He's got MVP awards.
Yeah,
he did get a Gold Glove. I don't know what position he got it at. 14 All-Star games.
He won it in 1960, so wherever he played, 1960, you have to look.
And he's not just an all-time great player who's in the 500 home run club, but he's extremely, extremely important to the Chicago Cubs franchise.
Well, am I going? I mean, none of us are Cubs fans, but am I going out on a limb by saying he's the greatest Cub ever?
Well, his nickname is Mr. Cub, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Yes. I mean, he still played over 1,100 games at shortstop. He did
he
play
won a
little
Gold
over.
Glove at shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did play 1,200 at first, but then 1,100 at short. So, I mean,
Again, that's a crap ton of games.
well, he also
It
played.
is.
Everybody we've talked about has played like 18 to 21 seasons.
Right, yeah.
He also played 69 games at third and 20-some in the outfield. So, I put him at short because it's one of the weaker positions compared to some of the other stacked positions. So I thought he'd be a good guy to include at short. But
I did that, and honestly, when I think of him, I think of shortstop. I don't know. I mean, it's just a me thing, obviously, but
I don't really think about his position. I just instantly think about him being the iconic Cub player. That's kind of what I just think of.
at one point in his career, 5 out of 6 seasons, he had over 40 home runs
Yeah.
while playing
Nice.
shortstop.
I mean, we were talking about how crazy it is that Cal Ripken got 431 home runs because at shortstop, that's a crazy high number. And this guy's in the 500 home run club as a shortstop. So, I mean, that's astronomical for a shortstop. I mean, he is the power shortstop if you don't count A-Rod for using steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned whether we messed up at first. I look back at our first baseman. They're all in the 500 club.
Well, Ernie Banks was not going to make.
Hold on.
the
Who did we made it on? I can't remember.
Of course,
Albert.
we
Albert.
have,
Fox,
Albert
Miguel Cabrera.
is over 700 when he's done. Cabrera was 525, and Jimmy Fox was 534.
And we left off Lou Gehrig
Yeah,
and Frank
Yeah.
Thomas and Jim Tomei and
Tomei's got 600 home runs, doesn't he?
yeah.
Frank Thomas is well over 500.
Well, and
Rafael
First base is
Palmeiro
loaded with, like you said.
500 and 3,000. But he's a steroid guy,
Didn't Mel Ott play first base too?
probably.
He's at 500 home
say
runs.
Harmon Killebrew had over 500.
It's a power position. It's
It
a
is.
power position.
But you are right, Wade. Like, being in the 500 home run club, no matter which position you play, is an elite thing. But doing it up the middle is a different class.
Yeah, if you're a second baseman or a shortstop and you get 500 home runs, you're you're beasting.
Well, no second baseman has it, do they?
Not that I know of, unless you. There might be like a guy that played a bunch of different positions and second was included, but a guy that like primarily played second, I think Jeff Jeff Kent has the record at like 390 or something.
Yeah, none of our guys that we talked about
got even close. I don't think. No. I don't even think a second baseman has 400. Now, how many center fielders are in the 500 run club? Is this Willie Mays and King Griffey?
I was just saying, man, come on.
Is it just the two of them?
What about Mantle?
I don't think Mantle or DiMaggio made it, did they?
I thought one of them did. I thought one out of the two did.
I mean, I think Mantle.
I'll do Mantle. You can do
would
DiMaggio.
have, but with his injuries, I don't know.
I had it in my head that DiMaggio didn't get it and Mantle did.
He may have.
DiMaggio has 361.
Okay.
So he's not close.
I thought Mantle's over 500.
I'm looking.
I had it in my head that the Yankees don't have any 500 run club guys that played their whole career there.
Oh, the whole career. I
mean, obviously A-Rod is in the 500 run club, but he
Babe
played
Ruth.
Yeah, and Babe Ruth. Yeah.
Mickey Mantle hit 536.
Yeah.
Okay, so
did he go play somewhere else then?
Nope, he played in New York his whole career.
Yeah, I don't know why I had that in my head.
From 51 to 68.
Yeah. Mickey Mantle. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about him in a few episodes.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come up.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that I'll put him on my list, but I'm sure he'll come up somewhere.
Yeah.
Fuck DiMaggio. Anyway, so does anybody else have anything to add on Ernie before we move on?
Yeah.
All right, so how many shortstops do we have left, guys? I have one left.
I have one.
I have one.
So
I'm out.
So 4 of us have a guy left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Wade will have who I have. I think Uncle Doug and I have the same guy.
Okay.
I don't know about Drew.
My wild card in baseball.
Yeah. Well, I haven't named one, so I'll go ahead and name my number 2. My number 2 is Honus Wagner.
Yeah, that's my number 1.
He's my number 1.
Oh, okay.
That's my number 2.
Oh, Wade did put him on there.
So
Okay.
4 of us, yeah.
Trust me, I could sit here and shit on these old players, but I decided to go with
As
it.
soon as I said that this guy was up, Wade just rolled his eyes. Old baseball, so.
We're talking about someone who played in the 1800s. And I have to word this correctly. I have nothing bad to say about what he accomplished when he played. I just don't respect when he played. If that makes sense.
You don't respect
Oh,
his-
yeah.
No, it makes
perfect sense.
It makes sense. He retired in 1917.
Yeah.
And I do, but he's one of those guys. I don't remember who we talked about early on. We talked about a couple really old players in some of these positions, and he does fit that criteria. His numbers are so stupid that you're like, well,
Yeah.
like it'd be hard to take him out of here. I mean, 328 is his career batting average, which is elite.
He's got 3,000 hits.
He does have
3,400
hits, yeah.
And 1,700 RBIs to go along with it.
It really
1,700 RBIs with only 100 home runs.
Yeah.
Didn't he steal bases?
Yep.
700 stolen bases in his
Yeah.
career.
Good doubles and triples too.
Yeah.
Well, 8 batting titles.
Yeah.
Eight
Yeah, he
batting
won
titles,
8
yeah.
batting titles.
He couldn't get over the hump on the MVP. He came
No.
in top 3 a few times, but he couldn't get over the hump on the MVP.
Who would have been stopping him back then? Like
Well,
Ty Cobb or
Ty Cobb would have been around for a lot of his career. Babe Ruth would have played in the second half of his career. Jimmy Fox and Tris Speaker would have been around.
Yeah.
I thought some of those guys were a little bit later down the road, but
One of the things that caught my eye, because I read several things about him, about how athletic he was and fast and this and that. He was in the very first Hall of Fame class. Okay. And he got more Hall of Fame votes than Babe Ruth.
damn.
That is impressive, but I'm going to say this. Major League Baseball Hall of Fame voting is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
The fact that some of these guys don't get in unanimously, like Babe Ruth,
Right.
is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wants to talk about, who is it, Mariano Rivera is the only unanimous Hall of Famer in Major League
yeah.
Baseball history. Really? That's where we
That's
drew the line?
right,
and
yeah.
Rivera deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying he doesn't.
no,
But you're
but-
telling me Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Ted
Those
Williams,
guys weren't
those guys weren't
unanimous?
unanimous
Right.
Hall of Famers? Why?
Yeah.
The guys that didn't vote for him, can you give me a legit reason you didn't vote for him other than, well, I knew everybody else was going to vote for him, so I voted for some other guys I liked?
Oh my God!
If that's your excuse, shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, that boggles my mind.
That'd be like saying
Go ahead.
someone like, well, here in a couple of years when Tom Brady finally decides to retire. I know we all hate Tom and we don't like him, but
He's a Hall of Famer.
I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be someone not voting for him. Or
Hall of
if
Fame
they didn't let
kicker.
Peyton in, Wade, what would you do? If someone told you Peyton Manning wasn't a Hall of Famer.
I'd quit watching football.
We'll have to just burn it down, huh? Wait.
Yeah. Peyton
But-
can't get in. No one needs to be in.
By the way, Honus Wagner played, like, every single position on the field. Like, literally. He played 200 games at first. He played 50 games at second. He played 200 games at third. He played 200 games in the outfield. But he played almost 1,900 games at shortstop.
Wow.
I think every guy we talked about this played 2,000 games.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's played a lot.
It's insane.
I mean, yeah. Barry Larkin would have had the shortest career out of them all, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I would imagine.
All the other guys played a really long time.
All right. Well, that's everybody, right? Nobody else has anybody?
Nope.
Nope, I'm done.
All right, so that is 5 guys, which I think ties us for the most. We keep coming up with 5 over and over again. We had 1 week with 4, and then we had a bunch of weeks with 5. Correct?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
And everybody on here, we have 1 guy with 2, and then everybody has either 3 or 4 votes. So nobody's unanimous, which I'm a little surprised by. Usually we have unanimous guys. So this will be an interesting debate here, guys.
Yeah.
So before we even debate anything, after just listening to people, just on the hunch here, guys, does anybody want to change a vote just because they heard an argument? They're like, oh, I learned something, or I changed my mind.
We need some visitors on Larkin Island here.
I like Barry Larkin, but
I do too.
I don't think I can get. I'm not swimming to that boat.
You
I'm just not.
don't have to swim. Just put a motor on it and it'd cruise right along.
Like, he was a really good player, but I think the 3 that I put up there are kind of
Larkin is
standalone.
Ray and Uncle Doug, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so who doesn't have Wagner?
Ray.
Gotcha. So what do we have to do to get you to Wagner, Ray? Because you're the only one.
Who would I let go?
I could really mix this up. Take away my Wagner vote and go to Larkin.
I could mess it up, too.
I mean, I guess technically anyone could mess this up.
Let me see here.
Get rid of my Ripken vote and go to Larkin.
Well, I'll give up my Banks vote and go to Wagner.
Ouch.
Ernie, huh? All right. I mean, it's your vote. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, you do what you want, right?
Ernie, huh? All right.
All right, well, Ernie's down to 2 votes, but Wagner's now on the list.
Yeah, Wagner's in.
Honus made it.
Well, that's probably good.
Yeah.
So does that make Honus Wagner our number 1 all-time shortstop?
Yes.
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would appear that way.
I refuse to put him number 1 because of when he played. Like I put him on my list, but I was like, I'm not putting him number 1.
Yeah.
I spent almost 20 minutes thinking about what I was going to say because I wasn't going to put him on my list. And I was like, oh, I should probably just put him on. Like, I had about a 20-minute spiel about how things were back in the day, but I'm not going to get into it all.
So let me ask the room this question. We have 3 NL Central fans in this room. You're still the NL Central, right?
Yeah.
Cardinals, Reds?
Yep. Cardinals, Reds, and Cubs are all
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Central. It's the Astros that left.
Right, yeah. The Astros left, yep. Sorry. How much of your Ernie Banks non-voting is because he's a Cub?
Well, I told you why I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't put him on the list.
Yeah, because he
I
didn't
mean, I
play.
researched him, but I didn't put him on because of the games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Because if you have to like a Cub, he's the one to like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Cubs fans always gush over Ron Santo, and I don't get it. Ron Santo's, he's a good ball player, but
Right.
he ain't like
He's not Ernie
He's
Banks.
not like Ernie Banks.
he's not fucking Ernie Banks. That's true. Yeah.
They've been looking for another Ernie Banks since Ernie retired.
Yeah.
So do we need to establish if we're going to for sure consider Ernie a shortstop? Because it sounds like we're unsure in the room.
It does sound that way. Yes.
I don't know. I find it hard when he played more games somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean it's close.
I mean,
though.
it's close, but-
1,200 to
Close,
1,100.
Okay, so let me ask this question, and this is really me asking because I haven't looked into the other positions. But if we set that standard, like not just that you played more games there, but when it's close, are we gonna back ourselves into a corner later on?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
That's-
I don't know. I
And that could screw.
I haven't looked that far ahead to the outfield.
That might
Right.
screw like Stan the Man or Pete Rose or, I mean, they could throw a little bit of a loophole. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
The outfield's where it's going to get tricky. Who spent the most time
Tricky?
here?
The outfield's gonna be god awful.
Yeah, the outfield's gonna be a
It's
mess.
gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. 'Cause, yeah. I would.
Well,
Go ahead.
Stan Musial played his most games at first base, if we're gonna go that way. So, like,
So no Stan the Man. is
Yeah,
pretty much
Stan
what
the
it's
man that has the most at first base at 1,016, and his next closest was at left at 929.
yeah.
Because, see, that's why I left him off first base, because I thought we were putting him in the outfield.
I thought we would put him in the
'Cause
outfield
I
too.
had him on my first base list, and then that night we talked about it, and it's like, well, we're going to move him to the outfield.
I'll be honest. I didn't know he played that much at first base until we talked about it and that later on.
Well, the thing that kills me about Stan the Man, we might have talked about this in another episode, but he moves to first base and obviously plays 1,000 games there. But then in the last 3 years of his career, moves back to the outfield.
Yeah.
So, like, it wasn't like he wasn't capable of playing the
Right.
outfield because he played over 100 games there for 3 seasons in the end of his career.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't.
Did he have a prominent outfield position or was he just everywhere?
he played 900 games in left, 300 games in center, and 700 games in right.
Which is why we moved him to the outfield.
Oh, so-
because at the time we were talking about outfielders, and then later on we separated them.
Yeah.
Because he played way more games in the outfield than he did at first. Just not one outfield
Okay.
position, but in the
Yeah.
out. That makes. I'm glad you said that because that makes more sense now.
Okay, because there for a minute I was like, well, we clearly fucked
Yeah,
that up.
we did change what we were gonna do
But yeah,
because
if
we
you-
were gonna just have outfielders,
Right,
And
and
then
we got
then
to
we
looking
decided
at
to
'em.
divide it because there was too many of them.
Well, and they're so crazy good.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we had to break it. That. Okay, makes more sense now.
So, can we establish that we can use Ernie at short? Is everybody okay with that, or is someone not okay with that? Or I just want to get on the same page.
I agree. We do need to be on the same page because if we say he can't be a shortstop, then obviously our votes will go somewhere else. But if we say we can use him, then that we'll keep debating it. You know,
Right,
so I
yeah.
mean, I guess I'm saying something that's obvious, but
Well, I mean, are
Well-
you two okay with him being a short, or do you not
So
want him to be a
what were
short?
the numbers again?
it's like 1,100 to 1,200.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're really close.
It's 100
Yeah.
more games at first.
I mean, if you're having a hard time, I mean, Larkin needs some help here.
'Cause, I mean, if we don't want to use him, I mean, then me and Alex can push our 2 remaining votes elsewhere and make
Well, what is? Baseball Reference lists him at both, don't they?
Both
Yeah.
what?
They list him shortstop, first base. Don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
I was gonna say we could do it that way, but
Because actually, Honus Wagner is listed at 3 positions on here.
right.
maybe we can stew on it and
Just leave him alone for the moment.
yeah.
Well, what else could we go to?
I mean, Ozzy, Ripken,
Ozzy,
Larkin.
Ripken, and Larkin are the other 3 to
Yeah.
discuss.
which I only have one of those guys.
I only have one of them as well.
I have 2.
Different too, though.
Yeah.
Ray, do you have?
I have Ozzy
And Larkin.
and Larkin.
Got
You
you.
and I have those two.
I have Ozzy and Ripken. Oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough one.
So do we want to do some head-to-head comparisons?
Yeah, we might as well.
Like Baseball Reference is really good for that. You can pull two guys up together and just look at statistically what they've done.
Well, I mean, we can pretty much just, we all know Ozzy's one of the greatest defensive players ever, a lot better than Ripken, and then Ripken destroys him in hitting. It's the same thing as third base. It's Chipper and Robinson.
Chipper.
So do we want to compare Ripken and Larkin?
yeah,
It's worth a shot.
Yeah,
I mean,
that might break it up.
Because we know whoever's going to do batting against Ozzy's obviously going to win.
Ripken's career totals are going to, I think he played a lot longer than Larkin, so his career totals are going to kill him.
Do they not have the comparison thing like they do?
I thought they did.
I mean, just off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure Ripken has like over double the home runs.
I found it
and
now. Sorry.
Like 1,000 more hits, but they didn't play the same amount of time, so it's not necessarily fair to.
It's 19 years to 21 years, so it's not a huge difference.
Oh wow!
I didn't realize Larkin played that long.
I didn't either. I thought Larkin, maybe he just missed a lot of games. I thought his games were a lot lower, but
It could have been.
maybe I got to take this.
All right. Well, so here we go. Here's the numbers breakdown between Barry Larkin and King Griffey. Like I said, 2 years difference in years played. They both retired at the age of 40. Ripken just made it to the majors 2 years earlier. Ripken played 900 more games. Wow. 900 more games with only 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
Larkin did miss games.
Yeah, he had to miss games because
That's
only 2 more seasons, that'd only be about 300 games. So there's another 600 games out there
right.
Yeah.
that he didn't play.
Yeah, that's true.
So Wade's right. He was quite a few less games.
So Ripken has 300 more runs scored. He has 800 more hits. He has about 150 more doubles. Larkin has 32 more triples. Ripken has about 230 more home runs. Ripken has about 700 more RBIs. Larkin has 300 more, a little over 300 more stolen bases, like 330 more stolen bases. Ripken has about 200 more walks. But now we're talking about 900 less games, but Larkin has 500 less strikeouts. Larkin has the higher batting average at 295 to 276, so about 19 points higher on batting average.
It should come down a little bit, but maybe not all the way.
Larkin's on-base percentage is 30 points higher. But Ripken's slugging percentage is just slightly higher, 3 points higher. But Larkin has a higher OPS, 788 to 815. So, yeah.
So you're saying Larkin was more effective with the time that he had?
Yes. He was. Well, he got on base more than Ripken, as far as like per game. Ripken's total stats blow him out of the water.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at averages and stuff, Larkin beats him in a lot of those areas. You know, the average, the on-base percentage, the OPS. So, yeah.
How many titles did Ripken have?
I think they both have one title.
Each have
right?
one.
They each have one title.
Just about everyone we talked about tonight only had one.
Yeah. Ozzy's got one. Cal's got one.
Yeah.
Larkin had one.
Wagner had one.
But Ernie doesn't.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, obvious.
Yeah, he's a Cub. What about? They both have one MVP, or did Ripken get 2?
Ripken's got 2 MVPs to Larkin's 1.
Yeah, Ripken has 2. And Ripken also has a
got
Rookie of the
2
Year.
Gold Gloves. Larkin's got 3. Ripken's got 8 Silver Sluggers. Larkin's got 9.
So one has one up on the other one, and Right.
Well, Larkin has more Silver Sluggers and more Gold Gloves. Ripken's got the MVP.
Right, he's got an extra MVP.
Huh. We're giving something here to one guy, but as soon as we're about to give more to him, the other guy starts taking more back.
Yeah.
Like it's
Well, here's one thing. I'm not trying to piss you off, Ray,
No,
but
you're good.
I would say the best ability is availability, and
I mean that's obviously true. Yeah.
and the 900 game difference kind of was like, whoa. Like I want to pull up like the seasons
Okay,
for
well,
Larkin and
let-
to see
let
how
me
many games he was missing, because that seems like a ton.
Well, let me ask you this one: how many games was Ripken at shortstop, and how many was he at third?
I think we said 22. He played 2,200 games at shortstop
At shortstop?
and 600 at third.
Yeah, short, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think that was the person I made the comment of. He played
Right.
more games at short than most guys play in their career.
Yeah, that most of them play.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what this means, but but Barry Larkin never played a full season, not once in his career.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the highest he got was 161.
He got to 161 once, but he never even he barely got to the 150s in just a few times.
And it was a 158, a 151.
He's got a 40 and a 97, a 73, a 45, a 70.
a couple mid hundreds.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on with old Barry.
Sometimes, well, I mean, everybody's not built the same, so.
Or look, yeah, I mean, that's very.
But we're also all comparing him to the Iron Man of baseball.
We are.
Yeah.
Like we're
What is it? 2,700 straight games or something
Oh,
stupid like
yeah,
that.
something
it's
crazy.
something dumb, yeah. Like that's crazy.
So we've talked about availability, but how effective was Cal Ripken Jr. in those 20 whatever Iron Man streak he was on? How effective was he in during those games?
I don't know. He won 2 MVPs.
When was his last MVP one? I guess, I don't know.
91. This is his last MVP. Of course, he played till 2001. So,
Yeah.
So,
well, if we let's see if I can do this real quick. Yes, I can. If we knock off Cal's last 2 years, so they both play 19 seasons. I mean, Cal will still dominate him in all the total stats. Ripken's average comes up a couple points, but not enough to catch Barry. Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody heard Wade say he had to leave for a phone call, so I'll just catch Wade up real quick. Wade, what we're looking at here is first off, Cal Ripken played 900 more games, but only 2 more seasons.
I told you there was a difference
Yeah,
there.
Barry missed a lot of games. But second off, except for stolen bases, all of Ripken's total numbers far out exceed Barry's.
Yeah.
Some big gaps there. But then Barry has the higher batting average, the higher on-base percentage, and the higher OPS. And obviously more stolen bases.
How many Gold Gloves did Larkin have?
3. It's 3-2 on Gold Gloves.
3-2. Yeah.
And then it's 9-8 on Silver Sluggers. Ripken has 2 MVPs to Barry's 1, and they both have 1 title.
yeah, so we're giving a little bit here, we're giving a little bit there. It's not.
Like I said, I do like Larkin. I think he's really good, but I think Ripken's a little bit more impressive in my opinion. That's
So I guess
plus the Iron Man streak kind of factors in a little.
I made that comment. I said that the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, we're also comparing Larkin to the greatest guy to ever do it.
It's like Iron Man stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay Larkin by any means. I think he was very good, but I don't know. I mean, I went with Ripken in my top 3. Just really the power at the shortstop position on top of, I mean, 1,700 RBIs and over 430 home runs is no joke at shortstop. And plus, he's in the 3,000 hit club. Even though Barry did have a higher batting average, but like you said, showing up and playing.
So we're looking at what, 200 and some home runs and like 800 RBIs difference, and then we're looking at 20 points of batting average.
Right.
Yeah.
It's 20 difference in batting average.
19, yeah.
Yeah, 276, 295.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a deal here, guys.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy.
Thinking of a deal. Who's all got Ernie Banks?
Now it's me and Alex.
Wade.
Alex. Who's got Ozzie Smith?
Me.
Okay. If I take my Ozzie Smith vote to Ripken, can I count on your guys' vote for Larkin?
To take off Ernie Banks?
Yeah.
If we're not
Yeah.
counting Ernie Banks, maybe.
Well, yeah, if we're not counting Ernie Banks, maybe, yeah, but like
If we're counting Ernie
if we're
Banks,
counting Ernie Banks, I'm not giving up my pick because I think he's the greatest. He's my number
Okay.
one.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I just throw that out there.
Still not making any strides here, are we?
No, we're not.
Well, we're having the debate, the very debate that I had on my list. I wanted Ozzie on there. Wagner I thought should be on there. Ripken and Larkin is the two that I struggled with. Trying to decide who was going to be the third one.
Let's just not count Ernie. I mean, he was number one on my list too, so you're not alone. But he played more games at first. Not everybody's on board with if he should count or not. So
Okay.
I say we just move our votes elsewhere.
All right, fair enough. Ernie Banks it's a Cub. I'm not that upset about it. I mean, it's not like being a Yankee, but still.
It's pretty darn.
All right,
close.
so now I got to decide who I'm taking my Ernie pick to.
I'm sorry, Ray, but I'm going to Ozzie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wade.
Join the Wizard of Oz train.
I'm not surprised. Wade likes defense.
I
Yeah.
do. I do. Well, I mean, it was us three on the Brooks Robinson train too that fought with you two about Chipper.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I felt much stronger about the Chipper Jones argument than I do about anything on this page.
Chipper was a boss with the bat. I'll give you that.
Old Chipper.
Chipper started his career at shortstop.
It's kind of surprising,
Mhm.
actually. I guess I kind of, in my head, I always kind of think of old Chipper who didn't move hard at all.
Yeah, I think he ended up moving to first his last year in the.
Yeah.
Like he really started not being able
He
to
had,
move there
no
at the end.
mobility, but I'm sure he was much more athletic back in the day.
Because he's still in one of the MLB The Show games that I played.
Oh, yeah.
Wade and I's all-time favorite MLB The Show. Chipper was a boss.
I think you used to always put him on your
I did,
team when you
yeah.
and me would maybe put together our little fantasy teams and play each other.
Yeah, because they had that mode back then in the show where you could play versus seasons, and you could do the fantasy draft. So we would just draft these like really awesome teams, and then
Yeah.
and we all had like kind of our favorites that we really liked. I always end up with like Chipper Jones. I always end up with Brad Lidge as my closer, and like
I always had Carl Crawford in left
Yeah.
field. He was my favorite player, and I had Griffey in center as he was my other favorite player. And one of us always had Pujols. I don't remember who it was. Me or
I'm
you.
not sure either.
I mean, that was like right when he was just killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Bonds was a created player because they didn't have the rights to him in the game.
I was just sitting here trying to remember what his name was because it wasn't Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
It was
I'm pretty sure they made him a white guy too. He was a white guy that with a 99 rating, but you didn't know, he had some weird name. It's kind of funny. But
That's why I like my college football and college basketball games. It's not supposed to be these guys, but you can tell who it is.
oh yeah,
But it just says their numbers and stuff. It was great.
Well, see, that's what I used to do back on the Super Nintendo. We had the Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, and nobody but Ken Griffey was named on the game. Everybody else had a weird-ass name. So I always had to go through the Reds roster and look at my baseball cards and be like, okay, I got to name these guys up. Just so I have my actual team on the game.
I mean, I know everyone was named in Tecmo Bowl, but Bo Jackson was.
yeah.
All right.
Where are you putting your vote, Alex?
yeah, no. Crap.
Because this can either help or break, or if you go somewhere else besides Ozzy, then we're gonna.
Well, obviously, I can't move it to Wagner. I already voted for Ripken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move it to Ozzy.
All right.
All right.
So Ozzy's in.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, he is in, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right.
Ozzy and Wagner.
So now we're down to Ripken and Larkin.
Yeah.
I think I've stated my opinion on this, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm staying with Ripken.
All right. Well, speed is line. I'll go ahead and concede.
Yeah, I'll.
Yeah, I've already.
You guys came to Ozzy. I can go to Cal.
Okay.
Did as much as I
Good
could here.
compromise, guys.
Yeah.
Great compromise.
Sorry, Barry. I
Yeah.
tried, bro.
Yeah, we had to get Barry in there.
Got my shortstops list. Yes, sir.
That was your list, Drew?
Yep.
All right, good job.
Probably my first one. I've got all the baseball.
Well, I lost a guy, but it was to a technicality. It wasn't because
Right,
I
yeah.
didn't like him.
I feel you, buddy. I feel you. And like I said earlier, Larkin was a very good player. So I think
Yeah,
he
I have
got
nothing bad to say about Larkin.
got a lot of respect, I think, on here.
So just so all the listeners are aware, that makes our final shortstop list: Honus Wagner, Ozzie Smith, and Cal Ripken Jr. So as the 3 greatest shortstops of all time in Sports the NEMO Way edition there.
That's a pretty good list.
Something really funny. We talked about, obviously, a lot of great players, and we talked about all the guys in the early 2000s, but we didn't talk about Jeter at all.
No, we did not.
Why should
No one
we?
put him on a list. We kind of beat around the bush when we were talking about the early 2000s shortstops. He briefly got brought up like once, but there was nothing for Jeter on this podcast.
He outlasted all those guys, but during their primes, he was the worst of the bunch.
Right.
Like, Nomar was better, A-Rod was better, Tejada was better. He just played a lot longer and played on a better team.
Right.
The only thing he has on those guys is championships.
Well, he's got a
He's in
amount of
the
hits.
he's in the 3,000 hit club.
Yeah.
I think he's well over 3,000, isn't he?
I just closed my laptop, so I
Yeah,
can't tell you, but
3,400.
3,400, yeah.
But no, Jeter's not. He's one of them. If not the most overrated player in baseball history.
And for majority of his career, he was a huge net negative defensively.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He doesn't deserve any Gold Gloves. And he ended up
Yeah,
with
I was
5.
shocked when he had 5. I'm like, what?
I will
Right.
say, though, offensively, he was very good and very consistent for almost 2 straight decades.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he came through really clutch in the playoffs.
That's what I was getting ready to say. In the playoffs, he was the exact same player he was in the regular season. When he batted 320 in the regular season, he went and bat 320. And he didn't do, like, Big Poppy stuff where, like, oh, I batted 600 for an entire playoff run. He didn't do that. But he also didn't do A-Rod, where I batted 300 in the regular season and batted 120 in the playoffs.
Right.
He was like, I batted 320 this year, and I'm batting 320 in the playoffs, too. I'm just the same guy every year. He was remarkably consistent.
He was. Offensively, I think he was either decent or very good at just about everything. I mean, career batting average of 310. We already talked about over 3,400 hits. That's pretty amazing. He had a little pop in his bat, 260 home runs, 1,300 RBIs. Scored almost, he was coming up on 2,000 runs scored, which that's not always you. You have to get on base and be able to hit you in, but still.
I've always said, if Derek Jeter didn't bat leadoff and at the front of some of the most potent lineups in the history of baseball, what would his numbers look like? Because they were just grooving fastballs to this guy because they were so terrified of the 3 guys behind him that were hitting 40 home runs. I don't know. Maybe I just dislike him so much because he's a Yankee. I don't know, but
it's a little bit of both. I mean, he still has to get on base, and then yes, he did play on the Yankees. But I always thought offensively he was pretty remarkable. Defensively, I don't know how the fuck he got 5 Gold Gloves.
because he was a Yankee.
And he's very
Same way
embarrassing.
DiMaggio has 3 MVPs.
Oh yeah, thank you.
All right, is everybody ready for some trivia?
Oh, is it trivia time?
Mm-hmm.
It is trivia time.
Ugh.
Drew, you ready?
Yep.
All right.
What player played in 3 consecutive World Series with 3 different teams?
No way. 3 consecutive World Series with 3 different teams. That's nuts.
Oh no, Dad's writing it down fast.
Man.
I just have a guess. It's out there. But
It's out there.
World Series. If you just said playoffs, I'd have been like, okay, like I can
He
figure
just
this.
played in the World Series, didn't win, or did he win?
I think he's just played.
Okay. I actually might have an idea.
Yeah, it's just 3. But didn't win. Just played in.
I could be off on this, but I actually have a guess.
All right, I got to guess. I'm not a good one, though, I don't think.
Ray, you got something, buddy?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
This is a good question.
It is, yeah.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I say Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
Ben Zobrist.
Okay.
Benji Molina.
Okay.
Said Randy Johnson.
It is Don Baylor.
Don Baylor, really?
Didn't know that. I remember one year, Benji Molina was going to get a World Series ring no matter who won.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had my mic turned off. Yeah, because he got traded like halfway through the season.
Both teams made it.
Both teams made it, yeah. So he gets a ring either way.
I know Ben Zobrist won a World Series with the Cubs. He won one with the Royals, and he went to one with the Rays. So I don't know what years they were in or whatever.
Well, the Cubs and Royals ones were back-to-back.
and then he made one. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he made one with the Rays, but I don't know.
Wade, you got one?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide which one I want to use here. All right. What baseball manager has the record for most ejections?
I actually know this one. You know this one, fearless leader?
No, I really don't.
Maybe I can gain a point on Drew.
I am a couple ahead, I believe.
You are.
It's all right. I got football.
Forget football. Nobody cares about football. Anybody else?
We're the
Yeah.
champions.
We're the
club, bro.
champions.
You guys need to form an island because
The champions island.
us losers go to an island. Maybe you winners need to have your own island.
Make a clip of Drew showing up. Wade's getting lonely.
That can be our next video. Me welcoming you to Championship Island.
Yeah.
Uncle Doug, Ray, you got answers?
Oh, shoot. I got it right.
Oh, Drew.
I got right answer.
I'm trying to think of a couple guys.
Oh, I thought you would know this one, Uncle Doug.
Well, I'm thinking of one right off the bat, but then it's not.
This one marker dries out on me every week.
Dude, I went
marker?
through like 2 months straight of getting a
Well, it
pat
works at
marker
the
every
beginning of
time.
the episode, and then it dries out halfway through.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is a well-known guy. It's not some trick question. Or I know baseball has such a long history of people and managers. It's nuts, but
Does everybody got an answer now?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got one.
It's Bobby Cox.
I put Tony La Russa.
I said Lou Piniella.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, but I put Don Mattingly.
it is Bobby Cox.
Damn.
But when I saw that, I thought of Lou Piniella. That's what I thought it would be.
Having some tirades.
He was.
Yeah, because he would go out and steal the bases and like.
Well, the manager for the Yankees is who I was trying to remember.
Oh, the one, Billy Bean.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy Martin.
Billy Martin. Yeah.
Billy B.
Always
I said
fought
Billy
with
Bean, yeah.
the owner, and
Ray,
he
you
was
got a
always
pen.
getting thrown out.
Pen.
I thought of Lou Piniella when I saw the question, and that was my guess. And then when I looked it up,
Thank
I was
you.
like, oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then I was like, oh, actually, I think I might have heard that I think I heard that before. But Lou Piniella, for some reason, I just constantly think of him
Well, he had some
Go-
crazy stuff he did.
Going
Yeah,
nuts.
huge tirades. And they would go on for so long. Like the game would be stopped for so long because
Yeah.
he'd be out there acting
Flipping
ridiculous.
out. Yeah.
Throwing things on the field, stealing the bases, like
Yeah,
all
he
sorts
was,
of
He
stuff.
was crazy.
Yeah, it was funny. All right, Uncle Doug, you got one?
Yeah, I got one. Okay. Most Gold Gloves by a shortstop is the Wizard of Oz with 13. Who is in the lead among active players?
At shortstop or at any position?
Shortstop. Active shortstop with the most Gold Gloves right now.
Crap. Trying to think who's the old shortstop hanging around.
Ooh, okay.
Well, I will tell you it's 4.
There's 4 of them, so we just have to get one of them?
No. It's 4 Gold
Oh,
Gloves.
4 gold gloves. I thought you
Four
meant
gold
4
gloves.
guys were tied. I was like,
No.
oh, crap.
I have
No,
an
it's
answer.
actually it's 2 guys, and I'll give you the point with either one.
Okay.
But it's 4 Gold Gloves.
Shortstop.
All right, I got an answer.
Trying to remember if this guy's retired or not. I think he is.
Then he's not active.
I know.
I know this guy rattled off at least a few Gold Gloves. So.
Yeah, I feel decent about my answer.
Oh, what's his name?
His name's Bob.
No, it's not Bob.
Pedro.
Eddie Bob.
Gosh dang, guys.
I tried to have you named Eddie Bob.
I know.
That's right.
And Brenda did not go for it.
I don't think you were even close. Oh. What's his name?
There's a time limit.
We have never put a time limit.
Well, I'm enforcing it. I'm just joking.
You got an answer, Ray?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it down. I can't think of the other guy's name. How do you spell this?
All right. I put Anderson Simmons.
I put Simmons.
I put Troy Javalski, who used to play for the Rockies.
Tulowitzki?
Yeah.
Tulowitzki.
Yeah, I couldn't think of one.
Okay. Simmons is one of them.
All right.
The other one's Brandon Crawford.
Really?
Oh.
I didn't think Brandon Crawford had that many Gold Gloves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
okay.
Crawford the guy that played for the Giants?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Wade and I got it that one.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, Ray, you got a question, buddy?
I do.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Before the Yankees drafted Fred McGriff in the 9th round in 1981, they selected another Hall of Famer in the 2nd round, but he did not sign with them. Who was this player?
Can you give me the year again, please?
81.
Oh, 81. Okay.
So they signed a Hall of Fame, or they drafted a Hall of Fame player that
yeah,
never
they
played for them.
They drafted Fred McGriff, but in the 2nd round, they drafted another Hall of Famer, but he didn't sign with them. Who's that player?
He never played for him, so I have no idea who.
That's a long time ago,
I
too.
don't even know where to go with that.
The odds of me getting someone drafted is.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know baseball drafts because the baseball draft's in the middle of the year.
Well, it's not just it's in the middle of the year. That like 90% of the guys that are drafted never make the majors.
Well, and I don't. Since this guy never played for the Yankees, I don't know what to go off of. Like,
Yeah, I just wrote down a Hall of Famer. It is what it
it's
is.
a Hall of Fame.
Oh. He's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Oh, that blows my answer.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just gonna list for a Hall of Famer.
I'll leave it.
I got it.
I like my answer. I want to talk about this guy anyway.
Okay, just
Is that
go
everybody?
for it.
All right, I said Greg Maddux.
Said Ozzie Smith.
Robin Yount.
I said Willie McGee.
This is a quick trick question, guys. I didn't say MLB Hall of Fame. The correct answer is John Elway.
Oh,
Oh, good question, Ray.
Oh, man.
Well, I just knew that Willie came from the Yankees organization. I didn't know whether he played or not. But
I know his
Wow.
quarterbacks have been drafted, like Wilson, Kyler Murray, Tom Brady.
oh, yeah.
A lot of them have been drafted, but and Kyler Murray was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyler Murray was a big deal.
well, he legit said, like he said, that he wasn't sure if he wanted to do baseball or football. What, didn't he? There for a short period of time.
Yeah, he played the A's and the Cardinals against each other to see where he could get his contract, but it just didn't work out for him because the A's kind of held pat on him a little bit. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, who was the first major league pitcher to officially record a 100-mile-an-hour pitch?
First one to record it.
Yes, because, there's a lot of guys we think, like they think maybe Cy Young threw 100, but we don't know because obviously they weren't recording things in 1902. They tried to, what was it? Which pitcher was it they tried to time his fastball with the motorcycle?
Oh, I've seen. I don't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
Was it like Bob Feller? Or
Bob
something?
Feller, there you go. Thank you, Wade. Yeah, Bob Feller.
I'm not sure when they could actually started recording.
I'm gonna pick a semi-old pitcher. I don't think it's.
All right, I got to guess.
Give you guys a hint.
I think I
They
get
don't
it.
play today.
Yeah.
Really?
Has everybody got an answer?
Yep, I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willard?
Yeah, I wrote something
Okay.
down.
What's we got?
I put Dizzy Dean.
I put Sandy Koufax.
I put Sandy Koufax.
NA.
Well, the correct answer is Nolan Ryan.
Oh, that was my other guess.
Yeah.
Really? They didn't record it to them?
I've heard about people saying that Sandy Koufax threw 100.
Yeah.
1974 is when Nolan Ryan recorded
Okay, well,
that.
Wow.
I started
Okay.
to write Nolan Ryan, and then I thought, no, I
Same
think
here.
they recorded Koufax.
Same here, because I've heard people
Oh,
talk
wow.
about how he could throw 100 miles an hour. But
Interesting.
But, the crazy thing is they talk about that in that same documentary that Wade and I just referenced about the motorcycle, is when they timed Nolan Ryan at 100.8 or whatever they timed him at, they were timing him at the plate. What his pitch was doing at the plate. Now when they time guys, they time it like 3 feet out of your hand.
Oh.
So they think Nolan Ryan threw 105.
Yeah.
So like it's, and the dude, like, we know he was throwing like upper 90s deep into games at like 42, 43 years old.
his last pitch ever at like 48, when he blew out his elbow or shoulder, it clocked him at like 97.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. And he's like, he has so many complete games. I can't remember what
yeah.
the number is. It's some astronomical number, complete games.
If he played for a dominant franchise, I think he would. Yeah,
If he played for the Yankees, he'd have Cy Young numbers.
Oh, yeah.
He'd have like 500 wins.
Oh, yeah.
he really
No doubt.
would.
Yeah, like
I mean, the man almost struck out. You're like almost an automatic Hall of Famer if you get 3,000 strikeouts. He almost doubled it.
yeah.
That's like someone hitting 1,000 home runs. Like that's how
Yeah.
nuts this dude was.
Yeah.
He had almost 6,000 strikeouts, and he has the most career no hitters and all this stuff, and he barely won 300 games.
So are you saying, Wade, that he might make your pitchers list?
I'll tell you right now, he's going to. Nolan Ryan is on the list.
All right. So that all being said, after this week's tallies, the standings are as follows. Drew is still in first with 5 points.
Boo.
Alex moved up this week and is now in second place with 3 points.
Oh.
Wade and Doug are now tied for second, or for third, with 2 points. And Ray pulling up the rear with 0. We gotta get you on the board, Ray. We gotta get you on the board, man. We
Dude,
can't have you doing a goose egg.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, this is going to be like 3 straight things on last place.
Hey, you can be in last place, but you can't throw a goose egg, man. You can't throw a goose egg.
No.
And we've got guests lined up now, so you can't
Yeah.
lose to the guests again.
I know.
Yeah, we're only going to have like, how many guests are we going to have for baseball?
2, I think. That's just,
Oh.
but one of the guests is going to be here for 3 episodes.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, fuck.
Don't forget to send us emails about stuff.
Yes, we would appreciate you sending us some emails, some questions, some comments.
Whatever.
Yeah, we would appreciate you
Doesn't
giving us
just-
some 5-star reviews. Help us get out there to other people.
Sports the NEMO Way at gmail.com.
Thank you,
Doesn't
Ray.
have to be baseball, baseball, basketball, football, other sports too. If you want us to
We'll
comment,
save them and use them all.
yeah,
That's
Yep.
right, absolutely. Or you can just email us and say, "Man, you guys are doing a great job." That's cool too. Hey, and guess what? You can send us corrections. You can be like, "Hey, you got the stat wrong. Hey, you quoted this and it was the wrong person." Whatever. We don't care. We'll say your corrections on the air. Like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we messed this up." Sometimes I might misspeak. It happens. So send us some emails. Make some comments. Talk to us on social media. We have Twitter. We have Facebook. We have TikTok. I think that's all we got. But still, we're out there. Come look for us. We would appreciate it. We appreciate you tuning in for our Shortstops episode. We would appreciate you tuning in next week for our designated hitter episode. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.